This week's episode is sponsored by the Brilliant Futures Institute. You have the ability to create the world that you want, but you don't. You're living exactly the life you chose to live. You are in charge of your life. There's no blame for anything that has happened in your life that is happening now that you don't like. The reason you are staying in this place instead of moving into the place you say you want is because the payoff is better for you to stay where you're at than actually to change. Welcome to the Preeminence Podcast.
You cannot be a courageous leader if you're not vulnerable.
Your legacy is every life you've touched.
The only thing that changes our life long term is when we raise our standards.
Now is the time to take risk.
The way it's always been done isn't necessarily the way it should be done.
What is your dream? What do you think 2050, 2100 is going to look like?
The most incredible sort of mystery, I think, is now the question of what comes next.
Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Welcome to the Preeminence Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew J. Peters. Visit preeminence.tv to learn more about how to create a preeminent presence for your business, organization, or personal brand. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or just ask Alexa to play the Preeminence Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about the power you have. The power you have to create anything you want. Now, this may sound kind of spacey, but stick with me here. Just recently, I watched a movie that was pretty okay. It was with Simon Pegg. It was called Absolutely Anything. And in that movie, he was given the opportunity to say anything he wanted to and wave his hand, and it would happen. It was big or small, it really didn't matter. If it was, having a cheeseburger or changing the climate of the world. He got what he asked for, but it wasn't what he thought he wanted. It was a different version of what he asked for because he wasn't specific. He didn't have the details of what he wanted. He just said, I want this thing. And it was so general that in a way he did get it, but it wasn't what he really wanted. It wasn't something that was beneficial. He would say something, he would get it, and he would have to change it right away because he wasn't specific. And so many times I see that is exactly what we're doing. You have the ability to create the world that you want, but you don't. Actually, by the same token, I'll tell you that you're living exactly the life you chose to live. As a leader, you need to understand that you have a responsibility. You are in charge of your life. There's no blame for anything that has happened in your life that is happening now that you don't like. The reason you are staying in this place instead of moving into the place you say you want is because the payoff is better for you to stay where you're at than actually to change. You think that that thing that you want to move into, that thing that you tell everybody you want, that you have on your dream board, that's actually not going to give you the same payment as you are right now. That payment may be attention. You get attention and people's sympathy or their empathy for being stuck, for being overweight or underweight, or that you don't have the opportunities or you don't have the money. Whatever it is, you're always looking to the outside. And when you look to the outside as that thing or that other person has the power over you, you are not a leader. You are a subject of someone else who has rule over you. And as a leader, you can't have that. So I do want to congratulate you for being 100% responsible for everything you've created so far. Think about it. Give yourself credit. All the good things you've created, all the things you like about your life, you've created those. But somehow the things we don't like in our lives, we think that someone else created those for us. You did. You were complicit with the other people who wanted you to create something. You created it together. It was a co-creation between you and what you said you wanted, that you weren't very clear about, that you didn't have the details about, and the other thing, the other people that you want to kind of go along with. So the hardest question that I've ever had to ask anybody, and the hardest question for anybody to answer is, what do you want? What do you want? Now you think about it, even going to a fast food restaurant. You go to a fast food restaurant and they ask you what you want. Guess what? You're ordering off a menu if someone said, here's what you can have. But what if you ordered off the menu and said, and I want the burger cooked this way, and I want the lettuce to be cold, and I want all these things. Instead, what happens is we order off the menu, we get it, and we look at it and say, that's not what I really wanted. Or we're somehow disappointed with what we got, but we ask without being specific on what it is we truly want. because what we say we want and we put out there has no detail in it, so we get some version of that without the detail. Some people say that the devil is in the details, and I want to put a spin on that. The devil is in the distractions, and the distractions keep you from having detail about what it is you say you want. You see, it's one thing for me to say that I want to sing and play piano like Harry Connick Jr., but I'm not doing the things that it's going to take for me to get there. I could tell people, boy, wouldn't it be great if I would love to play piano like that, but I don't have the time. I love to play piano like that, but I didn't have those talents. I wasn't born with those talents. And now what you're doing is you're saying, I want to sing, but A, I'm not willing to do the work, and B, it's impossible for me. Someone once said to me, in having personal power and personal power language is, if you say you can't, it either means you don't know how to or you don't want to. So when you say, I really want to have that Lexus, or I really want to live on the east side of the city, but I can't. Well, it's because you either don't know how to do it or you don't really want it. You just want to say that you want it. So saying that you want something is much easier than actually doing anything about it. But when you know you have all the power to do it and no one is keeping you from it, except for yourself, the enemy within is stronger than the enemy without, you need to decide what it is specifically that you want. I want you to understand that 99% of the people that you would ask what it is you want don't know what they want. If I were to ask you right now what you want to create in the world, what you want for your life, what do you want to be about, what is the impact you want to have in the world, what do you want to be remembered by, would you even be able to tell me? The truth is, almost everybody comes up with a blank. They don't know what they really want. They may know, okay, so I want to hit $100,000 this quarter or this month, or I want to get another 4 clients. What is that? It's a means to an end. It's dollars. Okay, I'm going to get dollars. How do you want to get those dollars? How do you want to serve the world? Do you want to be making that money right now and then having to make it again and then having to make it again and then you switch on to another product or service and do something different? Or do you really want your life to be all about one thing? When people hear your name, they know it's synonymous with the result and your mission that you bring into the world. That is power. That is a thought leader. That is a true leader. It's super rare to find anyone who could share with you their life's mission in one sentence or write out a succinct, extremely detailed list of situations, outcomes, locations, people, structures, organizations, dates, and timelines on one piece of paper. If I gave you a blank sheet of paper and said, write out everything on here that you want, and I guarantee you'll be able to get everything on this list that you want. But you have to be very specific, because I may look at it, and if you don't have specific details, I may give you something that is actually not what you want. For instance, if someone said, by the end of this year, I want to have $1 million in my bank account. Not being specific could mean that someone you know that you love dies, and that is something they left for you in their will, something that you get from a payment from your insurance policy. Is that what you really wanted? Be more specific. Or you say, I want to live on the east side of town by the river, and you lose everything and you live in a van down by the river. You may find this to be funny, but this is exactly what we're doing. Every day of your life, you're creating unconsciously by the words that come from your thoughts and your actions and the people you hang around and the small, tiny goals you want to do for today and this week and next week and this month and this quarter. Those are so small. They're so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. But your thoughts, if you knew truly what you want to be all about, your purpose in life, and you were living out that mission day to day in what you do, and you knew where you were going, you had that vision, your mission, your vision, and purpose, what I've talked about in the past. If you have those things defined, then you can be on course for something that's going to last a lifetime. Now, why is it that almost nobody knows what they want? I believe that there are several reasons why, but I'm going to just point out 3 of them right here. Number 1, it's been bred out of us. We have the ability to create without ceasing. We do. We create everything incessantly. The challenge is that we create whatever is on our mind at the time. We create from the patterns of our past, from the patterns of the world, from the media. Think about it. Why did you choose to dress the way you did today? You go back. What made you wear the clothes you're wearing right now? What about the music you listen to? Are you listening to the same music that you did when you were in high school because of somebody said something, or you were at a party and you heard this music, or you were angry at your parents and you listened to heavy metal? If it was like me when I was growing up. I was in a heavy metal band. When I listen to that music right now, I was like, oh my gosh, that was so long ago. That is no longer me. Or do you still identify with deep things in your past like that aren't serving your future? Now, I connect with things in my past. I see how I can use them to create a brilliant future for myself and for the others around me. But the challenge is that we create whatever is coming into our lives right now. The media, our relationships, all those habitual things that we do, that we've been doing day after day after day, that aren't actually building us. They're not serving us. They're imprisoning us to our past. We create from our limitations over and over again. We are not only creating from the patterns of our past, but that is all we have to build from. If your today seems a lot like yesterday, it's because you're building your today and your futures with the materials from the past. What else could you be building with? Think about that. You're building your today and your future from your ideas, your thoughts, your patterns, your speaking, those loyalties that you had to other people, those relationships, the books you read, the movies you've watched. All of that is the patterns that you're reinforcing day in and day out. And those are the materials that you're building your future with. Your results today are self-inflicted. We keep consuming the same media instead of creating media that we desire. Number 2, we want to fit in. We want people to like us and accept us. We hold back on our greatness just so we can remain a part of the pack, a part of the herd or the tribe. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to be known as that guy or that woman who lives outside the box. And those who say they defy convention and they've left the tribe and they're out on their own have merely switched tribes. Really, they have now identified themselves with a tribe that is outside of the box, haven't they? Doesn't matter how you dress, how crazy you act, how different you say you're going to be. You go out in the world and you find people who accept you. Now you become part of another tribe. They are not leading others. They are just following new people. And third, the feeling of regret. What if that thing that you really said you want turns out to be wrong? What if I get there and I'm not happy? Then what? How do we thrive in creating something brilliant and beautiful when in the back of our mind we're always second-guessing ourselves, saying, this is what I really want, but what if I'm wrong? That's not a leader. All 3 of these are distractions, and the devil is in the distractions. You see, those who understand this and know the power of your mind as well as the collective consciousness, it's far easier to create a reality they desire when they have the minds of hundreds of thousands or millions of people on the same page, believing the same thing. They have the strong emotions about the same thing. Think about this right now in politics. We have the collective consciousness, or we have millions of people that love the NRA, or that love Donald Trump as president, or despise the NRA, or despise Donald Trump as president. Think about that. Those are massive powers. It's because so many people have tuned in and locked into that tribe saying, you will not pry that gun out of my hands. Or the other side saying, we are going to protect our children. We're going to protect the people of this country from the violence that guns bring. Just saying that right now, you may be feeling you're on one side or the other, right? It's us versus them. Or President Trump, he's doing a great job. He's doing a terrible job. He's saving the world. He's saving this country. He's destroying the world. He's destroying this country. We have bought in so hard because of the media that we believe they have bought our mind space. They have bought our attention, and we've given it to them for nothing. They've never deserved our attention. They are constructing a reality because you don't have anything that's stronger. So what you do is like, oh, we're going into space. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, this is important. Oh, it's climate change, or it is politics, or it is this new app everybody's talking about. Oh, it's the new iPhone. Oh, Google's doing this. Oh, look at what Facebook's doing. Oh my gosh, you are so fragmented. You have lost your power in every one of those different medias. Those different powers are looking for your attention so they can have that attention to create something that they want in the world. Is this ringing true with you? Think about it. If you had uninterrupted focus on doing your one thing, and you are not thinking about politics. You are not thinking about the new app. Someone didn't just say, hey, you should be listening to this podcast, or you should be reading this book, or you should get this new app, or you should get on this program so you can be just like everyone else here that is being a rock star, or, making another $100,000 a year or a month or whatever it is. You should be taking this training. You should do this. You should do that. Marketing is a battle of mind space. And if you have your mind space on your thing is 5%, how effective do you think you're going to be in your life? How effective of a leader do you think you'll be? The devil is in the distractions, and the distractions are anything that take your focus off your mission and those around you that you truly love and care about. What else out there is important? Your mission and those that you truly love and care about. What else is important? Name me 10 things that are more important than your mission, serving out your mission fully, and the people who you truly love and care about. Name 3 things. Name one thing that is more important than you fulfilling your mission and being around the people you truly love and care about. There's really nothing else out there, is there? You wouldn't say, the things that are really important in my life are my mission and fulfilling it, and the people I truly love and care about, and Facebook. Why are you giving an hour of your day to Facebook? Or why are you giving 10 minutes of your day to Facebook? Or why are you reading that book? Good is the enemy of great. And if you know what your mission is and someone hands you a book saying you should read this, if it doesn't right then in 1 second feel like, oh my gosh, this is the missing piece that's going to get me the next step in my mission, then say thank you, but no. You can say no to things. You can say no to people. We are bombarded by distractions, namely entertainment, gadgets, politics, our differences, caring about what the other person may be thinking about us, even caring about what the other person is doing. Why do you care about anybody who's a celebrity? What do you care about what they're doing? How does that affect your life? I am minimally involved in politics. I don't really care. I don't read the newspaper. I don't watch the news. Anything that's in the news is a distraction to get you to give your attention and your part of your mind to that idea. And it's an ideology that I don't subscribe to because I know the marketing behind the news, and the news is sucking your potential away. So let's talk about these distractions here. I learned from a good friend, Satyan Raja. Matter of fact, I interviewed him on episode 100. The things that we stress over or feel deep frustration about many times comes from us giving an overimportance to a thing or a person. We think we're supposed to do all these things. We feel obligated to do so much when really we're required to do so little. So little is required of us to give to other people that we think through obligation we have to do so much. But our job is to live out our mission. Yes, we're serving people, but we can serve people through our mission, can't we? Instead of being so fragmented, so all over the place, you can serve people doing your one thing instead of serving people doing 10 things. Or I'm going to give to this charity that has absolutely nothing to do with my mission, but someone reached out to me, so I should give to them. Think about it. What if everything you did focused on your mission? What if you could bring everything back to your mission? How would your life change if you could serve everybody through your mission? When and only when you define your vision, have conviction for it that drives your work ethic, and you communicate that vision clearly everywhere, you will create everything you desire. Think about that. If you define your vision, you have conviction for it that fuels you every day to do the work to make it happen, and you communicate that vision as being authentic because you're doing the work for it. You communicate that vision clearly everywhere. Like everybody knows what you do because that's all you talk about. You will create everything you desire, everything that's incorporated in that vision. The 1% do this. I remember a few years ago, it was like the 1%, the rich and the powerful against the 99%. Guess what they do? They know exactly where they're going, and they get the mind space of millions of people to help them get there. And they get the buy-in and the people paying them for these things. Until you have that vision and you are incessantly creating that vision every day and you focus on it and that's all you are doing without distraction, Until you do that, you'll remain a part of the 99%. Even if you're kind of a leader on Facebook, seen as someone who's a guru, or you have an event and you have 100 people there, you're not really leading a movement, are you? Let's be real here. Until you sell out to who you are and who you came here to be, in your mission, you're going to be anything less than 1%, the 1%. So I want to wrap this up and give you 3 things you can start doing today. They're simple and you'll actually like doing them. Number 1, define what it is you want. Get granular about the details of it. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Once you hear your heart and what it wants, you'll be right. What does that look like? Open a new document on your computer or your smartphone and begin writing it out. Or if you like old school, grab a piece of paper and a pencil and start writing. Write out everything you'd want in these 4 areas. Your finance and your career or your business. Your well-being, that means your health and your fitness. Your relationships with your significant other, children, or extended family. And your connection with God, the infinite intelligence, the universe. Or if none of that works for you, how about your connection with yourself? So you have your finances, your well-being, your relationships, and your connection with God and yourself. So define those things. Think about it as this way. If you were to write all those things down with being super specific, exact, you were very precise about it, meticulous, and you would get exactly what you write down on that paper and nothing more and nothing less. You could write on both sides of the paper. Everything you wrote on there would come true. You would get everything. Think of it that way. If you write something really general, guess what? You want $1 million by the end of the year? That could come a lot of good ways or bad ways, couldn't it? Be very specific. Number 2, begin saying no to everyone and everything that does not fit into that future. This is where you break the patterns of relationships keeping you loyal to the old you. This is where you begin to take control of creating new patterns that can bring about the new future you desire. Say no to the old media you consumed. Say no to anything that is a distraction for you from moving forward. Go back in time and begin saying no to the things you have committed to out of feeling obligation. You have the right to change your mind. You can say, my situation has changed. I'm going to have to step down from this position. I'm going to have to not be a volunteer at this organization anymore. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's great knowing you. I need to focus on something else, or my situation has changed. Good is the enemy of great. There's a lot of great books out there, a lot of great blogs, podcasts, videos, apps. That doesn't mean any of them are right for you. Once you define what it is what you do want, it'll be apparent what doesn't fit into your future. Until you define it, it can seem like well-intentioned recommendations are meant for you and for you right now. And number 3, begin making connections with people who are already at the place you want to be. Get outside of your comfort zone. Get into new groups of people. Think about those people who are already at the place you want to be. They're 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ahead of you. If you have to pay for a mentor that's already there so you can skip the steps, do it. When you get in those groups, you're going to find people to partner with. And when you partner with the right person, you can literally skip 5 years, 10 years, 20 years because you got in with the right person who is already there. So again, those 3 are write out what it is you want to create for now and in the future. Number 2, say no to everything that doesn't bring you closer to what you want to create. And number 3, meet new people who will take you closer to what you desire to create. If you cannot define what it is you want to create or where you're going, everyone can feel it. There's a huge difference between that and someone who is sold out to a mission that they have conviction for and are in pursuit of. If you are a professional, you're an expert, you've been doing something and getting results for people for years, but you somehow are making a disconnection in your marketing or in your messaging and people aren't getting it, it's because you don't have that definition of purpose, of mission, and you don't have that vision for where it is you're going. You're not broadcasting that out there. If you would like to get super clear on this and get on a track that will help you create what it is you want in your business and be on a mission, do things purposefully, connect with me at the letter M at ascend.net. That's letter M at asynd.net. Thank you for listening to the Preeminence Podcast. Subscribe to hear powerful interviews and insights each week automatically downloaded the moment they go live. Share this episode with your team, your friends, and post it on social media. Let us know your comments and suggestions for the show at m@ascend.net. That's the letter M at asynd.net.